Yeah, whatever they would have.
Good. The first question I want to ask is how Mojuk is, because I mean that was a particularly nasty fall.
Yeah, I mean he's in there. Obviously, the doctors are monitoring him, and obviously he's been concussed, but that's not my area of actually the degree of that. But obviously, it's scary. It scared, obviously all of us. So he's up and about a little bit in there, but it's going to be a bit probably.
Sure. And then I think Rice looked like a bit of a hyperextension of his
Yeah, we have 2 or 3 guys, but he's one of them, and he's been carrying a rib issue, unfortunately, and then now a knee. So I don't know what the status will be with him.
Sure. Well, with all of that obviously coming in without Will, there were times they pushed it out above 20, but I know you're always proud of the team, but I mean that effort to keep fighting, keep hanging in there, being absolutely decimated by injury as you are at the moment, I mean that had to be something special to see.
Yeah, it's the grit and grind.
Yeah.
I told him exactly what you said. I'm obviously super proud of him. It was ugly. It looked ugly. We played ugly. And if we'd have lost by 30, no one has said too much about it other than, yeah, they're hurt and injured and so on and so forth. And there's been a lot of teams I've seen over the course of the season that have just gotten whacked and given in very quickly. And our guys continue to fight. And so it's a character builder. You get some humble pie, and then you just kind of move on, and we got to regroup quickly and reload again. But our fight's real, and we'll continue to fight the rest of the way out. I do want to say something really quick, so a mini rant, but Brian Goorjian, I didn't know much about him when I got here. I crossed paths with him in China, and when I got here and started to coach here, I understood the impact that he's had in Australian basketball and where he sits here. And about 3 months ago, we won a game that we shouldn't probably have won, but we fought hard enough to get the perfect storm across the line. And when I was done with this press conference, I walked right out here in this next room next door, and I saw Brian Goorjian with his hands in his head on the couch, slumped over and quite distraught. And for about 2 months, all I heard about was what a bad coach he is. Games passing by. He's too old. The roster's not good. You need another American. On and on and on about this guy who's basically done everything he possibly could for this country. His name's up in the rafters, and he's a master at his craft. And to go against him is a privilege. And to watch him do his job at 72 years old, I can be 1/4 of what he is. Not 1/4 of what he is. He loves this game, and to see him in that mode that I saw him 3 months ago really shook me about what we do. And then to see him just get raked through the coals. But this last 6 weeks has been a master class in coaching. And if you can't appreciate what he's done for Australia in basketball and what he's done for this franchise and what he's put in this last 6 weeks, he's coach of the year by far. Not close for me. When you have a decimated roster and you're still winning games and people are still bitching and moaning because it's just not good enough and you keep ticking over and winning games, that's a craft. That's a GOAT. And he's at that level, and he should be respected at that level. I get quite upset when I hear things about this guy who has a stellar career and gone through everything he's gone through, and to see him in this room next door 3 months ago because he lost a perfect storm game that you do it long enough, you're going to run into those games with his hands in his head, and it really shook me to take me back and say, I hope I'm not the God I'm ever coaching when I'm 72 years old, because he's a master at his craft. And what he's been doing here for the last 5-6 weeks should be appreciated by everyone in Australia, not just by the Kings, but basketball in general. And these keyboard warriors who think they're smarter than everyone else actually perk up a little bit and actually understand what the craft is and what the job is. And like I said, I'm a shitty coach, and I know I'm a shitty coach, and I couldn't do half of what he's been doing. And you can beat me up all you want about how I coach, but this guy, he's too good. He's coach of the year. Bottom line.
That's all said. You're far from a shitty coach, by the way. Please. You're a championship winner. Don't ever forget that. Illawarra coming up. Obviously, with everything that's going on. And
Yep.
you just approach it, as you said, with grit and grind. I mean, it's just
Yeah, we
basically getting home.
just got to show up and get home, get recovery.
Yep.
They're super talented, big, and we're going to have to make some adjustments and see who's alive to play this game at the end of the day. But we'll show up and do our best at home and work as hard as we can. And we have some things that we can do very well, but we just had no time to practice with a smaller lineup and actually execute anything since we've got back from Perth. And so we'll have to put our coaching hats on, and I'll maybe have to call Goorjian and have him come down and actually coach my team. Would probably be helpful.
You had a long shot at mid-court post-game with Brian. Can you take us through any of what you said there, or would you rather?
You know, we over the course of a couple years have built a relationship that didn't exist, and in my first year, I wanted to leave and go home with COVID and not seeing my wife for 14 months and my daughter for 18 months, and I was about ready to pack it in and get out of here as we were playing, and he called me and just said, "Can you just hang on? You're just too good at what you do." And that was a lie, but I did hang on at the end of the day, and he's always sent, words of encouragement. And like I said, when I saw him 3 months ago at 72 years old with his hands in his head and distraught about a game that he's mastered at his level, that really gets me emotional.
You talked about the craft. What is it that he does particularly that you admire?
He's got passion at 72 years old to do that job and walk up and down and coach young guys with attitudes and all the things that you run across. He's been a national team coach. He's just the longevity of what he does. He wins everywhere he goes. And if he has a down year, he comes right back and wins again. And that's special. Dean Vickerman's in the same mode. They just win, and they just figure out how to win. And at his age, I hate to keep bringing his age up, he could coach till he's 100 probably. And get games across the line of just how good a coach he is.
So tonight's game, it sort of felt like it wasn't necessarily on your terms. Did you struggle to kind of get it played the way you wanted?
Yeah, we never got on our terms at all. We just obviously were struggling from the beginning, and we had multiple turnovers right away that kind of just got us shook. I think Majuk Dang's fall scared the hell out of just all of us in general, and like what's next kind of thing. And at halftime, I probably in 5 years, I've probably gone off twice, and I didn't go off this time. I just said, hey, we just got to hit the reset button, clear our heads, and just try to, understand Majuk's okay. He's sitting here with us, and we just got to reset and just kind of do what we do and get back to some basics. And our guys, like I said, continue to fight, and quite proud of them.
Do you miss a leader like Will in those moments where you have a moment early in the game that kind of rattles the group, just to pull everyone together and have that really steadying hand? Yeah,
Majuk would have been that guy too, also with his experience and timing. And if Drim is more healthy and on the floor longer, he's the guy that has that experience. And obviously Magnay's hugely important to what we do. And there's no denying that. He's not necessarily a scorer, but he's creating so many other problems for everyone else. And we'll have to adjust.
DJ's second half, he gave you some really good minutes and sort of kept you with that scoring punch late in the piece.
Yeah, those are obviously good signs for us moving forward. And if Bryce can't play the next game, that'll be a good sign that DJ's finding rhythm. And he is our most talented player. I've said this from the beginning of the year, and we always thought he would be an X factor, and he's started slow with obviously the injury for almost 12 weeks, and then he's kind of been up and down since then. But that's a good sign for him tonight to get some shots and minutes under his belt.
Pikey?
I think I'm all good, Scott. I'll let you go, but that was very well said. And I'll tell you what, everything you talked about before with Gorge might make a good chapter in a book one day.
Well, I got Gorge a victory cigar, so when he comes in, that one's on the house.